Greetings. My name is Wayne Clevenger, and I write under the pen name of L. Wayne. I remember back when I was a young lad, the purpose of our life was a question that I had asked many times. What was the purpose for our existence? And there were no answers. And as I continued on in my life, it became obvious that this world was chaotic and dysfunctional, and yet there were no answers to that. We had our political leaders that couldn't give us any answers. We had religious leaders that couldn't give us any answers. So consequently, we were left on our own. We have our political leaders today that are not truthful, that do things that to provide and to make sure that they get their own way and their own political agenda. And yet there is no peace. We have our religious leaders that have the same prospect and have the same problems. Recently we had a religious leader that died from a snake bite. And the problem with that is this man decided and thought that he needed to prove his faith and his belief in God by doing something dangerous. The problem with our religion today is the fact that we have so many, and we have hundreds and hundreds of different doctrines and different beliefs, and all proposing and professing the fact that they are right and they are correct in their beliefs. Well, how can they all be correct and how can they all be right? The problem is they just can't. And the reason why they can't is because God is not the author of confusion, and it becomes a confusing issue. The world is chaotic and it's dysfunctional. We have problems and issues in the Middle East that cannot and will not get better. We have Russia now that it's on the move. We have a leadership in our nation that is truly dysfunctional. And nobody, it seems, understands the reason why. Well, there is a purpose for our existence. And that existence is we were created by the great Creator, and we were given a temporary life, a life approximately 70 years. 70 is the number that the Creator has given to us. Some of us live longer, and some of us have shorter lifespans. Well, the reason why he did that is because we as human beings are going to be going into his world, and he wants us well trained. And the reason why that is when Satan was in his world, he rebelled with pride, was his foremost characteristic. And when God pushed him and threw him down to the earth, and then created man to live with Satan, then God had a particular plan that he wanted mankind and Satan to coexist together. And the reason why he did is he wanted us to learn the reason why we need to be able to control our free will. And our free will is an important part of our lives. Fact is, it's the most important characteristic we have. So now we live in a world that is focused on ourselves and on our pride and on our own particular wants, and we have no way of getting away from that, because that is our nature. When Satan was thrown down to this earth and man was created by God, then Satan was allowed to infect man with his nature. And that nature has permeated all the issues and all the problems in this world. And the reason why is because God does not want another Satan in his world. And this world is extremely, extremely important, and it is a stepping stone. I was talking to a fellow the other day about what our purpose on this life is. And I told him that our destiny was to be a God. And he laughed at that. So let me explain that to you. There are two scriptures, one in In Psalms 82, I believe it's 6, and the other is in John 10, and I believe it's 34. Could be 36. It says, you are gods. Well, when God put us down on this earth, He made us lower than the angels. But once we have, then we will eventually be elevated to above the angels, which means that we will now become between God and the angels, so we'll be on the second tier. But one thing about it is, just like I have a son, and my son will be named Clevenger, but my son will never be me. He will be his own entity, using his life as I have trained him. Well, God is doing the same thing. He is making sons and daughters out of you and me, so that when we are born in His kingdom, He will give us an extreme amount of power and be able to trust us by sending us to different parts of the universe and His universe, and trust us explicitly. And the reason why is because now we live on this earth and we are learning the problems with uncontrolled free will, and at that time He will be able to trust us because of our training we've had on this earth. So this earth and this life that we live is an extremely important part of His creation. Fact is, you and I are all part of His creation, and we are having a direct result and a direct hand in our own personal creation. And it's not so much about the body or what we've accomplished in this life. It's about what He is accomplishing deep within the minds of human beings. And that is the learning and the understanding of evil, the chaos and the dysfunction that it causes. And so once we're born into His kingdom, we will have a full knowledge and a full understanding of that knowledge. And because He chooses not to sin, we too will choose not to sin, because our minds at that time will be perfect. And we will have a full and a complete understanding. And because we will have a humble attitude towards Him, we will certainly not want to disappoint. And it's all based on the fact that we are living a physical life, and our lives are going to be dedicated and totally humbled before Him. Life is an extremely important an experience. It's an experience that we all face. There have been 60 to 100 billion people on this earth, and all of those people have the same training. One generation comes along and they die off, and another generation comes along after that. And it's a continuing process. It's an exponential increase of human beings, upwards of 60 to 100 billion, all having the same training, all learning the same things, different societies, different cultures. And our lives, makes no difference where you live, or what your culture is, or what your circumstances are, or what your society is. The problems and the issues are unique to you, and those issues will then he will use those issues to train you and to show you exactly how to live. So our political leaders don't understand. Our religious leaders do not understand. And so we are really primarily on our own. Now let me explain something about religion. Religion is not necessarily all bad. Fact is, I don't say it's bad at all. They just have failed to fulfill the responsibilities that the Creator has given to them. And that responsibility is to cry aloud and spare not, and to show my people the difficulties and the problems that they have. And our main problem and our main difficulty is our nature. And that is the nature which Satan has infected us with when he infected Adam and Eve at the Garden of Eden. And that nature cannot be overcome. That nature cannot be changed. It's a nature that we have, and we are forced to live with it. When Christ came to this earth, He came to save mankind. I think it was John the Baptist, when he was baptizing Christ, he said, he who who takes away the sins of the world. Christ's sacrifice is not just for a few. Christ's sacrifice is not for just a special few or those few that belong to a particular church. Christ's sacrifice was for mankind. And that sacrifice is extremely important because it takes care of every human being. Religion has tried to tell us that we will be going to hell. Some of us that haven't adhered to their particular religious beliefs are going to have to suffer for all eternity. Now that, in the face of it, is truly a lie that this world has been so accustomed to. You can take a battering ram and batter down a door, and the battering ram is stronger than the door eventually. But the doctrine of hell has been so battered into our minds that people believe it, and it's just one of those things that we cannot get away from. But that is not the case. If you had 10 sons or daughters, and 9 of those were errant and had an issue with you, would you make them suffer? Would you make them suffer for all eternity? And that is, no, you wouldn't, because you love them. They're your flesh and blood. They're who you are. They're what you are, and they will extend your life through them, and you wouldn't punish them. You know, but man and religion, in order to keep people into their church and into their congregations, they've come up with this, and this happened thousands of years ago. They come up with the doctrine of going to hell. Dante's Infernal, one of his important speeches or his important statements, at the gates of hell, all who enter these gates abandon all hope. That is not right. God has not created us on this earth and to abandon us into a life of punishment forever. It's kind of like saying the Cleveland kidnapper was a righteous man. Well, we know that he was a mental derelict and a psychopath. Well, that's to make your kids suffer for all eternity would be a mental derelict or a psychopath, and God is not that. God is a God of love, of mercy, and of understanding, and He will get you into His kingdom, and He will get you there through the experiences that you're having on this earth. And it's not so much that your life is perfect now, but what's happening is you are learning. And it makes no difference if you're in jail, same principle. You people are in jail who just screwed your lives up. You know, you've done things that are not right and have caused you to be in jail. And that's exactly what our lives are. Our lives are experiments in free will, and we are living that life regardless of our circumstances and regardless of our cultures. We have to live our life as God has placed us on this earth. But we all are learning the same thing. We are, with our nature, we are dysfunctional, we are chaotic, we are self-centered, we are totally focused on ourselves. And the most important thing that what God wants from us is He wants humility. And because of our experiences on this earth, we are gaining and will have gained a humble attitude towards God and towards what He wants from us. God hasn't created this earth to punish you. He has created this earth temporary. He has created you temporary to give you the experience, the training necessary to go into His world. I hope you understand just a little more of what we're trying to say, but there's much more to be said about this subject. I am embarking on a career of being a motivational speaker, and that's to give this particular message. It's a message that is extremely important. It's a message that religious leaders have not and will not tell you because it doesn't fit with their scenario. So we have many religious organizations around the world, but no one to tell us what our purpose is. Our purpose is strong, it's positive, it's uplifting. It includes you, it includes me, it includes your children, it includes those that are in jail, it includes everybody because we all are learning the same thing. So I hope this has been helpful, and if you know of somebody that needs a retreat, or someone that that would like to have a speaker to come in to explain our purpose, give us a call. On our website we have an email address. You can email us there. And also I have some books on our website that explain a little more deeply what it is that we are doing. So just remember one thing: God has a master plan, and that master plan includes you. And you are more important than what you think you are, and we are more important than what your religious leaders have said you are. And if you haven't said the magic words, you are still extremely important to the Creator, and He loves you more than you love your own children. So just be thankful that you have a Creator like that, that has a specific purpose and has a direction for mankind. You are an individual with free will, and your life is your own life to live. But while you're living your own life, exhibiting Satan's nature, then you are learning the lessons that he wants you to learn. So anyhow, thanks. Peruse the website if you like, and send me an email, if you like, and explain to me what you think about it and what you like about it. So just remember, your life is important, my life is important, your kids' lives are important, and the lives of mankind are extremely important to your Creator. Thanks.